From the moment they're born, give them the love that helps them on their way.
Talk, read, sing.
Watch their little brains grow.
It changes everything.
When we think about Sonoma County's kids and we think about Sonoma County's future, the best thing that we can do for them is remove barriers, and the way that First Five has been able to do that this year has been from moving into this independent structure.
First Five was established in 1998 through a statewide voter initiative, Proposition 10. It's a tax on tobacco products. The Board of Supervisors had to decide how they wanted their structure for their local commission. And most counties chose to have their commissions as independent public agencies. There were a handful of counties that decided to have it within their county government, and some counties that had their First Fives inside a department of their county government. And that was the case for Sonoma County.
It might seem strange that someone who is a member of the Board of Supervisors would actually want to see First Five Commission actually break from the county family. And you know, it was something that I think the Board of Supervisors struggled with a little bit, but to me, the most critical thing about independence is that I think that it's going to bring efficiencies in terms of the sort of financial capacity of the organization, as well as actually opportunities to pursue new types of funding.
20 years later, we've seen that tobacco revenue, the tax revenue, decline significantly. It's about half of what it was in 1998 for great reasons. We're happy that folks are smoking less.
In looking at the First Five budget and being embedded in the county system, we knew that there were some things that if we were to decouple from the county and become our own independent agency, that we would be able to reduce our costs. And with reduced costs, we also knew that we'd be able to fund more programs for our youngest kids.
After an analysis of all of our internal operational costs, it became very clear that we could operate much more cost effectively as an independent organization.
You know, we are facing a fiscal cliff, unfortunately, on the First Five Commission. And so actually breaking ourselves away from the county family will allow us to pursue new revenue opportunities to help kind of bring in some revenue to make sure that we can continue our critical mission work.
With the exception of our executive director, we lost the rest of our employees who elected to stay with the county. That meant that we really were operating bare bones. Our executive director, Angie, had to go out and recruit an entire new staff, and it was really challenging. We had to figure out what programs we could scale back on for a little bit. We acted a lot like a startup would. We had to find all of the vendors that we would be working with, IT, HR, and we had to really think about what are all the things that we would need to do as an independent agency to be able to move forward and continue to put money back into the community.
Inside the county, we had to use quite a bit of staff time to manage all the administrative requirements and to interact with all of the accounting functions and HR. Now it's much more streamlined and direct, and so far less staff time spent on administrative processes. We're going to save about $1 million a year for the next few years that we would have spent to support our operations as a county organization. And also, we can move funds to the programs that we fund much more quickly. It'll take really 2 to 4 weeks to pay an invoice, let's say, to one of our grantees, where prior to move that through the county's system would take sometimes up to 2 or 3 months.
And I'm very proud of the partnership that the Chamber of Commerce has with First Five of Sonoma County in building employer-supported childcare, of which we are very close to seeing the first in our community of several hundred slots supported by one of our major employers, and that is all thanks to that glue of First Five Sonoma County.
We can't just think about kids today. Kids today are critical, but what about my children's children? Will there still be a First Five to take care of those kids when the time comes?
We know that investing in our kids 0 to 5 is the best thing that we can do to help set them up for a positive future. Helps make sure that they graduate on time, that they enter college or a career technical education path, that it really sets them up for success.